Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude, I'm Beyond Mystic, and welcome to this evening's special report. This is the Putin interview decode. With me, of course, is Penny Kelly. In a couple of minutes, we'll have somebody else join us also on the screen. You can see her in the live box there. We're going to spend a few minutes here on YouTube and share some information with you guys and ask you guys also later on to come and join us on Rumble. But first, please join me in welcoming the beautiful and the amazing Penny Kelly. You can find her at pennykelly.com. Penny, welcome back to the show. How are you?
It's good to be here. I'm fine. It was not a good week, but I'm doing great now. And I love the topic of this talk.
Yes, me
So,
too. Well, thank you for
yeah.
being on. And I have to admit, it's been a hell of a week here too. I don't know if it's astrology or if it's just crazy energies from space or all the humans whipped up about everything that's happening in our field. What are your thoughts on that? Where's all this energy coming from, Penny?
I think it's the maelstrom, the chaos that happens when the new paradigm is taking shape and the old one is coming apart, and
Hmm.
people have not quite figured out how to move their attention to where we're going instead
Hmm.
of where we've been.
Right.
And how to, if you're going to go to a new land and build a new world, which is pretty close to what we're doing, what do you
Right.
have to take with you? What do you need on hand?
Right.
So, yeah,
It's hard to pack when you don't know what the trip is going to
and
be in
that's
the first
quite
place.
true. But you know what? It's a mystery trip and it brings out all your best.
Exactly. So you got to pack for what you think and then hope for the best. It's kind of cool.
Yep.
Let's talk on that a little bit here while we're still triple
Okay.
casting here on YouTube, on Twitter, and
All
soon
right.
to be on Rumble only. I wanted to ask you, Penny, here before we leave the YouTube feed. I read or I listened to one of Cliff's Substack earlier this week, and he kind of mapped out 2024 for us. And what was interesting in there, he talked about these two kind of lanes that are going to be parallel for humans here towards the end of this year. So starting maybe in the fall and then leading into the spring of 2025. And he said that those two lanes would be one of them after having had that first taste of hyper novelty. A big portion of humanity is going to be looking into the past, digging up the things, learning what was hidden from us, maybe getting justice from all of that stuff. So that would be one lane, but then there'd be another lane of humans also really looking forward and starting building the new. How does that tie in, perhaps with some of the older look-sees, perhaps some of the older books, The Men in the Brown Robes? Are we coming to that point here too that was brought to you by some of your ET friends there so many years ago?
Yeah. Actually, it reminds me of a couple things. One, the robes said, look, you won't be able to pretend anymore after 2021. The critical decision making time was 2015 to 2021. And at the time, I thought, what could possibly happen? So, so we hit 2021, and it was obvious that the whole thing was going down, and
Mm,
that there were deliberate efforts to take it down. And I wrote I wrote a blog, I think a couple of years ago, and it was, grieving for my uncle, and the uncle was Sam. So,
right.
um, I put it out there, and then I began to watch, because they always said to me, "You sit down, you be quiet, you're on the build up side, let it come apart. There's a team here that's taking it apart." And so I did that for a long time until finally, my people came along and said, "Go, go, go, go! It's time! Hurry!"
It's
And
go time.
I knew that that would be a critical hurry up kind of time, because you have to be quiet until the crisis can't be resolved with more BS.
Right.
You have to wait until it looks like a life or death situation, and then you start working your tail off. And that's, what I started doing in 2018.
Mhm.
Um, so
A lot
2019.
of us a lot of us felt the call at that same time and were activated, so to speak, all hands on deck.
Yep.
Thank you for that, Penny. I think what we'll do now, folks, just I wanted to maybe share one quick note of scheduling with you guys before we go. There was a little bit of confusion here earlier today. We were originally supposed to run the Oracle show here on the Tuesday night, but Meg had some surgery to her wisdom teeth, and she was still swollen up like a chickmunk. So I gave her the night off tonight, and of course, we're doing this beautiful interview instead. But we will be rescheduling that Oracle show, guys. Don't you fret. Okay, so let me bring the link back down for you guys here to the Rumble feed. So if you're watching us on Rumble now, please do go and come and join us here on the Rumble side of the equation for the no holes barred conversations. I'll see you there in about 30 seconds.